You've seen it everywhere, right? Generative AI is completely changing our world. I mean, it can write code, it creates this breathtaking art, and can even compose music, all in a matter of seconds. But, as you can probably guess, with all this incredible new power comes a whole new set of hidden challenges, and it is absolutely crucial that we understand what they are. And that right there is the big question we're tackling in this explainer. We see all the amazing things this technology can do, but what happens when that exact same creative power is used for, well, not so good things? Can this incredible engine of creation also become an engine of total chaos? To even begin to answer that, we first need to really get a handle on what we're dealing with. So, in this first section, we're going to get a super clear picture of what generative AI actually is and what makes it such a powerful and kind of scary double-edged sword. So, at its core, generative AI isn't just analyzing data, it's a creator. You know, it digs through massive amounts of existing content, it learns all the patterns, the styles, the unwritten rules, and then it uses all that knowledge to generate something completely new. It's not just copying and pasting, it's literally mimicking the act of human creativity. Now, what's really interesting here is the core difference this slide points out. Think of traditional AI like a calculator. It follows strict rules for one specific task, and you always get a predictable answer. But generative AI, it's more like a jazz musician. It learns the fundamentals, sure, but then it can improvise, creating all this novel and, importantly, often unpredictable stuff. And that unpredictability, well, that's both its magic and its menace. Okay, so now that we get just how powerful this technology is, let's talk about how that power can be misused. It's time to look at this whole new landscape of threats that are, frankly, bubbling just beneath the surface of all this exciting tech. Based on what we're seeing, security experts have pretty much boiled it all down to 7 major categories of new digital dangers that really all of us, organizations and individuals, are now facing, thanks to the rise of generative AI. So this first group of risks, it's all about deception and data. We're talking about deepfakes so realistic they can spin up totally false narratives or impersonate public figures. Then you've got phishing attacks. These are no longer those emails filled with typos. We're talking about sophisticated, context-aware scams that can perfectly mimic your boss's writing style. And at the same time, the AI itself can be the risk, maybe accidentally leaking sensitive training data it has memorized or exposing the private info that we, the users, are typing into its systems. The second set of risks gets even trickier, because it targets the integrity of the AI system itself. With something called AI model poisoning, attackers can secretly feed the AI bad data, corrupting it from the inside out, making it totally unreliable or biased. And speaking of bias, these systems can amplify harmful stereotypes they find in their own training data. But maybe the most alarming thing? AI can be used to create polymorphic malware. These are viruses that constantly change their own code, like a shapeshifter, to evade detection by normal security software. Okay, I know, that sounds pretty daunting, but the good news is we are not helpless here. For every new threat, a new defense can be built. So let's pivot from all the problems to the solutions and look at how organizations can actually start to fight back. Here it is, a clear 5-step defense plan. First up, governance. This is just a fancy way of saying you need clear rules of the road, which AI tools are okay to use and which are banned. Second, you've got to protect your data before it ever gets near an AI. Classify what's sensitive, anonymize it to strip out personal details, and encrypt it for that final layer of defense. Third, train your people. They are the first line of defense, so they need to know how to spot a super sophisticated AI phishing attempt. Fourth, you have to actively control what sensitive work data can even be fed into these models. This stops someone from accidentally pasting confidential client info into a public chatbot. And finally, you have to invest in new tools. You just can't fight a new kind of fire with an old fire extinguisher. And that last point about the new tools brings us perfectly to our final section, the technology. Because securing this new frontier requires a whole new generation of security tools that are specifically designed for the unique challenges that AI brings to the table. So the bottom line is this: your old security playbook, it's just not enough anymore. Not by a long shot. AI-generated malware, model poisoning, super sophisticated phishing, these threats are designed from the ground up to bypass traditional defenses. You need tools that actually understand the unique architecture and the vulnerabilities of AI workloads. And this table does a great job of showing what those tools actually look like. An egress gateway? Think of it like a smart security guard at the only exit, inspecting all the data the AI tries to send out to make sure nothing sensitive leaks. Identity-aware microsegmentation, that's like building digital firewalls around each individual AI process. So if one little part gets infected, the attack is contained right there and it can't spread. And finally, observability tools. These give you a real-time visual map of your network traffic, making it super simple to spot anything that looks weird, which could be the very first sign of an attack. So we're going to end on this question. Generative AI is here, it's not coming, it's here, and it's already building huge pieces of our digital future. But its potential for good can only be fully realized if we are just as creative and just as determined in building the security, the ethics, the guardrails to guide it. And that responsibility, well, it doesn't just fall on the developers, it falls on all of us.